Hi everyone, happy new year. Oh my gosh, we're in the year 2024. So amazing, so exciting. We are so blessed to be here. I thank God for life. Thank God for the opportunities, because so many people wish to be here today but didn't get the opportunity. Many of our loved ones, friends, acquaintances have passed on, but you and I are here today, and that is for a purpose and a reason. Therefore, we are to be thankful for that. Like I said, oh my gosh, happy new year to everyone. Wow, it's been 2 years. It's been over 2 years since I've posted on this channel. A lot of things have happened over the 2 years. I moved out of South Africa, went back to Angola. Well, first it was a visit, and then it ended up being a very long holiday, and I've been there for the past 2 years. Now I'm back in South Africa, and yeah, like I said, a lot has happened this past 2 years. I lost my grandfather 2021, and then 2022, that's when I went back. I am so grateful because God really spoke to me and told me, you know what, let me go back. Not only did we go celebrate my mom's sister's wedding, but I also got the opportunity to be with the family, and also the little time that I did not know I had with my grandmother. I lost my beloved grandmother last year, 2023. My grandmother was my rock. She was everything. She was my pillar of strength. I've learned so much through her when it comes to my spiritual life, and I am just grateful. Now that I'm back, I had a lot of time to reflect on my channel, to see which path I wanted to go, and yeah, I'm here today. And I told myself I'm not losing time. I'm not gonna lose time, because time is not given to us. We have to work according to time, and that is why we are back here. We are back. Kimbangu the beginning will be, expect so much from the channel this year. Expect a lot of great topics revolving the Kimbangism church, religion. Like we said, like I've mentioned before, this is a Christian channel, and anyone and everyone is welcome to join this channel. It is not only inclusive to a certain group of people. Whatever religion you belong to, you are welcome. You are so welcome to join this channel. So I will be advising, if it's your first time joining this channel or watching my video, please pause this video and go and watch my previous videos, because in this video we will just be continuing from where we left off. So I've got like bullet points here just to keep me on track. Like I said, in the last videos we went through chapter 1, 2, 3 and 4. Chapter 1 was all about introducing the Kimbangis movement. We spoke about Papasok Kimangu, who he was, who his parents was, and then we moved on to Papasok Kimangu's ministry. Papasok Kimangu starting his ministry, and then from his ministry, when he started conducting miracles, and from the miracles, Papasok Kimangu became the voice of the Congo people. And then we also ended off where Papasok Kimangu gave himself up to the colonial soldiers, and then yeah, we ended at Papasok Kimangu's trial. So now we will be continuing, but before I continue, we will be recapping from where we left off, just to get everyone on the same page. But like I did mention, if you did not watch chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3, then you will definitely be lost. So I would advise you to pause this video, watch the previous videos, and then hop back into this one. So let's get into today's video. So we went through, in the last video, we went through Papasok Kimangu's trial. We all know about the unfair trial that Papasok Kimangu had. So Papasok Kimangu gave himself up, but there was a period of events before he gave himself up to the soldiers. So we're just gonna recap, we're just gonna go back, because I feel like there's a certain very important information that I did not include in my previous videos that I would love to include in today's videos. So here we go. So like we said, we ended off at Papasok Kimangu's trial. And before Papasok Kimangu's trial, let us understand how did we get to the trial part. So on June 6th, so on June 6th, 1921, Papasok Kimangu was with all his followers okay, with all the native Congolese, while he was preaching to them. When Papasimo Kimbangu fled Kamba on the 6th of June 1921, when the military soldiers invaded Kamba, many of Papasimo Kimbangu's followers were arrested, along with his apostles. Many of them were arrested. They were brutally abused. They were all chained up. There was a lot of things was happening, like the chaos, the military entering and invading Kamba with all their guns and everything, like we explained in the previous videos. So a lot of Papasimo Kimbangu's followers did get arrested, but Papasimo Kimbangu did not get arrested because he fled. And if you want to know more on how that happened, definitely go to the previous video. So while Papasimo Kimbangu's followers and his apostles were being arrested by Snook and the soldiers that invaded Kamba, many of the natives knew where he was, but they stood firm and never uttered a word about his whereabouts. So Snook and the soldiers started beating up the followers, the native Congolese people that were following Papasimo Kimbangu at that time, and there were women and children crying, and while they were being abused and chained up, they continued lamenting. During the period of June 1921 and 12th of September 1921, Papasimo Kimbangu continued his practices, and he started preaching from village to village. This happened before he gave himself up. So he continued preaching from village to village, while frequently returning to Banza Sanda. For the people, he was already a hero that had shaken the colonial yoke. So there was no question to betraying him. That's how faithful they were to Papasimo Kimbangu. So there was no way that they were going to betray Papasimo Kimbangu and tell them, even though they were being oppressed and abused, women and children included, but they stood firm and said no. Many of Papasimo Kimbangu's followers already knew that the War Council was about to start judging Kimbangu'S. So all of the natives that were captured, they were already aware that they were being taken to judgment. So that was also one of the reasons why they did not disclose anything. Kimbangu, although hunted down, and knowing that Papasimo Kimbangu was still a free man, corresponded in the colonial power to taunt their authority. So they were still in, how can I say, what's the word? Can't get to the word, but yes, the colonial authority, they were going through everything in their power to find Papasimo Kimbangu. So Papasimo Kimbangu's days of freedom was now numbered. So Papasimo Kimbangu was being hunted down, but before the hunting and everything, Papasimo Kimbangu did have the opportunity to speak to his followers and to give them strength, and also to just give them hope. So he was communicating to them and told them, listen, on the 6th of June, this and this and this is going to try happening. But so this is the important thing that I feel that I left out in the previous videos that is so important to for us to add, because these are Papasimo Kimbangu's words to his people. This was Papasimo Kimbangu's speech that he gave to his followers before he handed himself over. I'm going to be reading because I wanted to come out precisely the way that Papasimo Kimbangu said it. So I don't want to think on my own thinking. So I want to go through the speech exactly as Papasimo Kimbangu said it. And I will be reading. So it goes as follows. On September 10th, 1921, during the morning service, Papasimo Kimbangu, his face was down and very serious. And this is what he said to his followers, okay? He addressed the crowd and saying, "The Spirit revealed to me that the time to deliver myself to the authorities has arrived. With my results will begin a period of untold persecution for myself and for every large number of people. We must hold firm, because the Lord will never abandon us. He has never abandoned anyone who confides in him." So Papasimo Kimbangu was really trying to give strength even though he knew how painful it was going to be for his followers, for his people to see him being arrested. Do you understand? So yes, we will follow. We will continue. Papasok Kimangu said, God has never abandoned a person who confides in him. And then he continued saying, the government authorities will impose on me a very long silence, but they will never succeed in destroying the work that I have accomplished, because it comes from God. I leave you nothing but the Bible. Read it frequently and in all circumstances of time and places. Practice the commandments of God and practice it without fail. So Papasok Kimangu was telling his followers that in any circumstances in life, read the Bible. So he told them, I leave you nothing but the Bible. And then Papasok Kimangu continued saying, the moment will come when all our trials will no longer be. When the time will come, we will glorify with no fear or harassment. In the name of Jesus Christ, joined by children of God all over the world. Today we are still persecuted, but at a time set by the Lord, whites will become blacks and blacks will become whites. This sentence was one of the sentences that really shook the colonial soldiers, because they took this sentence in a very wrong way. We spoke about this in the previous video, so listen to the previous video, watch the previous video, and then come back to this one. So Papasok Kimangu said, but a time set by the Lord, whites will become blacks and blacks whites. This is to say that we will assume the functions that they still exercise with us today. So Papasok Kimangu was saying that there will come a time where Africa is going to be run by Africans. No one is going to be superior, okay? No race was going to be on top of another race. And then he continued saying, while they will be forced to stand submit to our decision, we will be masters at home as they are in their countries. Despite the persecutions they put on us, we have an obligation to love them, not to hate them, because it would be contrary to the gospel. So Papasok Kimangu was a man of peace. He never, not once did he ever utter in his mouth words of violence or words of xenophobic. No, Papasok Kimangu continued preaching to his followers to love our fellow white brothers. That always remained on top of everything. Then Papasok Kimangu continued by saying, I thank all those who have joined me, men and women, to accomplish this difficult work of the Lord. I cannot reward you, because it is from the Lord alone that retribution comes. And then Papasok Kimangu continued. So Papasok Kimangu did reveal a couple of things. I'm going to read that also. So he revealed to them many facts that will irreparably happen in the future, such as the advent of the generations of priestly associates. While after the return of Kimbangu'S exiles, so this would happen after the Kimbangu'S that went to exile, this will happen after their return, okay? While after the return of Kimbangu'S exile, who will repeat the acts of power he opposed, including the resuscitation of the dead in the years to come, conditions will prevail such that only acts of power can convince the world of the existence of God. So in the coming years, only acts of power with powerful things will have to happen to really convince the world that God exists. Because we all know that the world, half of the world don't believe that God exists. So Papasok Kimangu already spoke of these things and telling the fellow natives that in the coming years, acts of power will have to take place so that people would believe that God exists. And then he followed by saying, Then will be the fulfillment in our day, the prophecy of Joel concerning the descendants of the Spirit of God to all flesh. Later, at the time fixed by the Lord, a huge temple will be built in Kamba, whose spiritual interest will be considerable and beneficial to our country, to Africa, and to the whole world. We will see it when the time comes. We will see it in the future. So he told them that it will be seen in the future. So after announcing this, Papasimo Kimbangu told them that one day Papasimo Kimbangu announced to the villagers that he will be doing his final tours around the villages to bid them farewell before his arrestation. Gave the speech that Papasimo Kimbangu gave triggered lamentations that Papasimo Kimbangu had to calm himself down. Many of those present announced that they were determined to give themselves up to being arrested with Papasimo Kimbangu. Many of the natives were like, we are going to give ourselves up and be arrested with you, Kimangu, because we believe in you. We believe in the power that is in you. We have seen it. Now we are ready. Now that you've given us these words of strength, of power, we are ready to be arrested with you. So this is where I'm ending it. It was very important for us to recap and also understand how it went, and also what Papasimo Kimbangu spoke to his people before giving himself up. So many of the natives announced that they were determined to be arrested with Papasimo Kimbangu and even be killed with him. So around 7 a.m., Papasimo Kimbangu, with 1,000 natives that were with him, not 1,000, 100, sorry, I'm getting excited, 100 natives that were with him, away and went through Sanda to bid their farewell to the people of Sanda. And everyone knew that this was probably the last time that they were going to see Papasimo Kimbangu or even hear of him. Now we can just imagine how painful and how sad this event was. So now we're going to continue with Papasimo Kimbangu's son's trial, which is Papa Kisolokele. So after Papasimo Kimbangu's trial, Papa Kisolokele was then being trialed. Papa Kisolokele was 7 years old when he was trialed by the colonial authorities. So we are now going to go through that.